Hello, how are you doing today, friend? I wanted to drop in and talk a little bit about the difference between toxic positivity and a grounded mindset because I think it is very relevant right now with a lot of social media and Instagram stuff and Facebook stuff, and it's something that I am still working on sorting out sometimes as I really work on keeping a positive mindset and growth mindset and um, moving in a positive direction, but also realizing that unhappy emotions happen and that is also okay. And knowing when to balance, okay, this isn't serving me, I need to focus on something else, as opposed to, um, this emotion is coming up and I need to acknowledge it and deal with it. And this is a topic that takes weeks, months, years of practice, even, and also is really important because the more that we're able to acknowledge all of our feelings and learn from those feelings, the better able we are to move throughout our lives. So, toxic positivity is this idea that, or sense of, it feels really constrictive to me, like it's okay, like I'm holding on to the fact that I'm okay and I'm okay and it's gonna be great, it's gonna be great, guys. No, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. And sort of this wild-eyed, I'm falling apart inside, but it's fine, I'm supposed to have a positive mindset and I can't acknowledge any of these bad feelings I'm having. So in my experience, that sort of is how it feels internally. And when I've seen it in other people, that is how it tends to show up. I'm just like, you have this special look in your eye that you need a little bit of extra support here because you're saying one thing, but that's definitely not what I'm reading in terms of the context of our conversation or interaction. And toxic positivity is, like I said, it's this gripping, and there's a lot of suppression of emotions that are totally valid because in my experience a lot of people think they're not supposed to be having those emotions because they're positive and they're going to be great, and so I can't be sad ever. But really, we're human beings and we have a whole range of emotions for a reason, and they're all valid and they're all okay, and so we need to feel them and acknowledge them, not stew in them necessarily, not get stuck there and live the rest of our lives from a place of sadness or anger and this kind of thing, and that is a whole other issue. But it's okay to feel things. It's safe to feel things. And that is a practice of mine that's been lifelong as well. It's safe to feel things. It's safe to feel sadness or grief or frustration or anger or whatever it might be. And so toxic positivity really sort of wipes all those emotions off the table. Anything that's not so pleasant, anything that's hard, just like, nope, it all has to be okay. It's all fine. And I have a positive mindset, so like I'm not allowed to feel these other feelings, which I don't think is true. The other thing that can happen as we're like gripping and like trying to hold on to everything is that physical symptoms end up showing themselves. So our bodies are wise and they're designed to keep us healthy, they're designed to keep us safe. And because of this, they're really good at coping with whatever's happening in our nervous system and emotionally. And so this can show up in any number of ways. It could be, you get headaches a lot, you get stomach aches a lot, maybe you have some other digestive upset problems. Our gastrointestinal system, our stomachs, our intestines are really good information givers to us. This is why we have gut feelings. This is why, we say that we can't digest something that happened, or we need to take time to digest new information. So that's a really good place. Another, like muscle tension, that's another thing. Feeling tired, like all of these symptoms can be pointing to the fact that there's some sort of emotional thing happening that we are not willing to acknowledge. And certainly acknowledge these things as it feels safe, as it feels comfortable, and also maybe not so obviously, but not every symptom is caused by an emotional upset, and many are. So it can be a really useful place to start in checking in with yourself and thinking, okay, am I suppressing something here, or is there something that I'm not acknowledging that, my body is telling me I need to pay attention to? So all of that is really important. And then the toxic positivity stuff we talked about, and then how does that differ from having a really grounded positive mindset? So having a grounded positive mindset takes in the vast breadth of human experience. So it takes into account there are really bad days and there are some really challenging situations that are hard. It is hard. It is hard when we lose someone we love. It is hard to make a transition from one job to another. It's hard to uproot your life and move somewhere. Breaking up with someone, having a turbulent relationship with someone, having a body that doesn't feel good. Like, these are all really hard situations. Being chronically ill or even having acute illness, like fear, anxiety, these things are real and they're all okay. They're all part of the human experience. And so a positive mindset doesn't wash that away. It takes that into account and it says, okay, this is really challenging. All right, let me acknowledge whatever challenge is happening. Let me feel what I'm feeling. Let me reach out for help if I need it. And then let me make a decision to have the state of being that I know that everything is working out for my best interest. That there is something to learn from this situation, even if it's something I don't necessarily want to be learning right now. That I trust that I have a purpose on this planet and that whatever the fallout or outcome from this situation is, it's in service to that. And so there's a process of acknowledging what's happening, working through those feelings, asking for help if you need it, being willing to do the work of like, okay, how do I navigate this? How do I learn from this? And how do I get through this in a way that not only do I not hurt myself or someone else, but how am I better for the experience? And so that's where your grounded positive mindset comes in, because you're not, like I said, you're not wiping anything away. You're not ignoring anything. You're not suppressing anything. You're taking it all in. You're letting the emotions happen. You're letting them move. You're not gripping onto anything too tightly. And then you're moving forward with a sense of empowerment and possibility. And so with that mindset, the sky's the limit and anything can happen. And often anything does happen. And I'll give you a brief example from the last few months of my life where I had a rotation that was really challenging. And I was like, I feel so frustrated. I feel like I don't know anything. I feel so dumb every week. And I just like super overwhelmed, so much preparation time, like ugh, bad. Lots of days at home crying after shift. And then finally I said, okay, here's what we're going to do. This is super hard. And my goal is to get through this and to graduate. And so this is now going to be my spiritual practice. I'm going to show up. I'm going to do all the preparation work that I can. I'm going to work really hard and do my best effort. And I'm going to realize and practice and say the mantra that my value is in my being, my service, and my willingness to learn. And so every day on the way to shift, that was my mantra. That's all that I said for weeks and weeks and weeks, months. My value is in my being, my willingness to learn, and my willingness to serve. And so through that experience and through those really challenging feelings of inadequacy and frustration and overwhelm, I was able to more deeply embody the fact that I'm a human being on this planet. And just for that reason alone, I'm worthy. And yeah, it's frustrating. And yeah, it's challenging. And I can do it. Like, I can do this. It's going to be okay. And having that shift also allowed me to see like, oh, my attending and my resident are here to support me. They're not out to get me. They want me to learn. They want me to be better. And while the methodology or their style doesn't always mesh with mine, I know that that's the underlying reason for why they're here too. So I invite you to evaluate any challenging situations that you're in right now, any challenging emotions that you're having, and don't push them aside. Don't try and brush them down, push them down or brush them off, but really consider like, okay, what can I learn from this? How can I be better from this experience? And how can I feel this emotion and let it move? And then come back to that sense of like, okay, I got this. How can I be creative? How can I get through this? How can I make it happen? All right. So that's all I have for you today. I look forward to talking to you again soon. Take care, friends.